In 2012, Miami-Dade voters approved a non-binding referendum that endorsed a special property tax to fund animal services, known as the Pets Trust. And it was championed by an advocacy group by the same name that Mr. Rosenberg helped start. Interestingly, we have a slate of candidates here who have connections to animals. That tax has never moved forward. If elected, I want to ask each of you if you would push for this new tax. And I'm going to start with Ms. Regalado.
Well, we've been talking about this for a long time. When I was on the school board, I was actually supported by the Pets Trust when I ran for mayor in 2016, because as a school board member, I eliminated cat dissections, which was at the time very controversial with our teachers and our science teachers in particular. And we spent a lot of time working with the district, talking about animals. After we eliminated cat dissections, we redid our dissection plan and moved to virtual models so that we would not be teaching children about animal cruelty. We also did videos and educated our children on no-kill and how no-kill was important for our county. Myself, when the Pets Trust was not honored by Miami-Dade County, I went and got my dog Marshmallow, who was on the county's death row, to educate my children about how important it was to foster and to provide a home for these animals. I think currently in this environment, a tax would be very difficult. We're going to see a community that just cannot afford it. That being said, the voters of Miami-Dade County want no-kill shelters. And we've been talking about eliminating kill shelters for a very long time, and also dealing with the cat problem, which we don't really talk about because the county for a very, very long time would not accept cats. They have the cat sanctuary in Westchester that's a disaster. We have the dogs in South Dade that are also an issue, and really they've tried to fix it with the news center, but they haven't solved the underlying issue that voters wanted, which was stop killing animals. So I think we start there and we move forward, but I think it would be very difficult in this economy to have any sort of tax, because we're going to have a county government that's going to have a huge deficit.
We're getting near the end here, and I'm going to try to get in a couple more questions. Ms. Lerner.
So I think the county has made significant progress ever since the Pets Trust vote took place. That was a straw ballot. It was not a decision by the voters. You can't say, because some of them understood that it was a straw ballot and they were not agreeing to be taxed. So I think that the county has made significant progress since then. They have significantly reduced the need to euthanize. They've worked with the pet rescues. They have significantly expanded spay and neuter programs. My husband happens to be a veterinarian and president of the Miami Veterinary Foundation. So they have been reaching out to all of the veterinary clinics to also take subsidies to expand the capacity to do spay and neuters. The problem the county has is that they haven't done a good enough job of educating the public about how critically important it is to spay and neuter, especially their dogs. So they need a public service announcement and a campaign to encourage people to do more spay and neutering. That is the best way to reduce pet overpopulation. So no, I would not be in favor of a tax. The county has a new shelter and has allocated a lot more dollars, and they're doing a much better job.
Mr. Rosenberg.
In 2010, the budget for the animal shelter was about $10 million a year, and approximately 30,000 animals were coming into the shelter, almost 100 a day. 10 years later, the budget for the animal shelter is $30 million, almost $30 million. And there's still almost 100 animals coming in every day. So it went from 10 million to almost 30 million, and it's the same amount of animals that are coming in. That is not a solved problem. And to make it worse, animals are turned away. Philip Stoddard found an animal. He brought it in. He was turned away. Robert Asensio, state representative, found an animal. He went there to turn it in. He was turned away. It happens over and over to people. They're turned away. So besides the 30,000 animals that are still coming in, there's all the animals that are turned away. And when they get turned away, these people tend to leave the animal in a parking lot or in a field, wherever they found it. So the deaths are outside the shelter, not in the shelter. So the numbers in the shelter look better. And if that's as far as you look, you are fooled by what's going on. In 2012, almost 500,000 people voted to raise their tax to stop the killing of the animals and create programs that would stop that killing. And it hasn't happened. So we need the Pets Trust more than ever. It turns out that the tax now, instead of $20, there's so much more property, the tax would be about $11 or $12 a year. We can afford that, and we can afford to help solve the animal problem. I see you're saying wind it up.
I'm going to say, we're going to take that as a yes.
It's a yes. And can I say one last thing? I have to say one last thing. There is a program for the vets to do spay and neuter. That program is out of money. It's been out of money for a while. And when it is funded, it's just a small amount of money. It does not help the problem. Your answer is yes, I support democracy always.